Hello everyone. I would like to talk to you today about neutral pendulum. I always ask you to send me questions and problems, comments and misunderstandings which you have with your dowsing process, so we can talk about real problems, not imaginary problems which I will come up with. Recently, someone wrote to me about neutral pendulum, saying that everything can be a neutral pendulum. And if it's true that we can make the neutral pendulum from everything and so on, and that he heard about the neutral pendulum which we sell not being real neutral pendulum but something else. So let's talk in general about the concept of neutral. As we all know, on this planet, nothing is neutral. We live in duality, so there is day and night, up and down, good and bad, basically yin and yang, or positive and negative. Everything has specific charge, even our emotions. But we can create something artificially which as a shape be neutral. If those things are done, for example, like a crystal or glass ball, and they are made from one piece, then they will be naturally neutral. However, the shape is man-made. But if we will deal with objects which are made by man from the wood, for example, which means they are not round, but they have to be cut specific way, then those are neutral pendulums which we will have to adjust polarity of both parts in order to make it really neutral. And however it looks a little bit complex, I will show you in a moment how it really works in reality, and you will see that the concept, in fact, is very easy and simple. I will use the left turn pendulum because it's very precise pendulum to check things. So let's say we will take an ISIS pendulum, large one, so we can see it precisely. And when I will find the wavelength of it, I can go from the bottom and it rotates to the right, which means that the charge is positive here. And as I will go along, it will at the end turn to the left, which means that the charge on this end is negative. Here we have DNA spiral. Positive on the bottom and then negative on the top as well, which means those are objects to release the energy. Let's look at this glass. This is one piece. As you can see, glass, sorry, I will take my bracelet for more precise reading. As you remember, we shouldn't have on our hands anything what creates additional field and will influence the free flow of energy through our hand. So I will hold it on the side, and as I go with the pendulum around this ball, everything, there is no movement, which means it's neutral. Because every ball is by nature neutral if it's made from one piece. Here, so we had a glass ball Now it's a crystal ball. And it's also neutral, as you could see. Another crystal ball, one piece. Which is neutral. And the third one is neutral as well. If we will use the neutral pendulum made of plexi, which means it is pure plexi, is poured into the form, and it is one round piece, then it is neutral. And it doesn't matter if this ball is bigger or smaller. The small one is also neutral. Different story though is with the wood, because the neutral pendulum normally is cut from a piece of wood. And if you see it close, of course you cannot see it here, but if you would look at it very, very closely, it has the line here because it's made of two half balls, two domes, which are cut the opposite way, then turn over, and the charge is closed, locked inside. If we will take it now, it's artificially made neutral pendulum. So around this pendulum, let's find first its wavelength. Okay, thank you. Then it is neutral. If we will take the bigger size of the same pendulum, it is neutral as well, even though they are made of piece of wood, which is originally polarized. We can also take universal pendulum and run it around, not from the side when there is an arch. And as you can see, it is neutral because along the electromagnetic meridian, or equator, I'm sorry, there are two pieces of wood which are inverted, glued together, and create a neutral shape. Everyone who has a neutral pendulum can use it for different purposes. So our neutral pendulums have all the colors marked here according to their wavelengths. But if you need a neutral pendulum to do any type of work, you can simply find the wavelength of this object or person and start to use this pendulum as neutral pendulum. You don't have to have another pendulum which will not have all those color beads on it in order to use it for different purposes. To find any one or anything wavelength, right? You can do it with the same pendulum. You don't have to buy two different pendulums for two different type of work. I hope we understand now what means an object which is neutral as a ball, and the pendulum which is neutral as a piece of wood cut specific way in order to achieve neutrality of it. This pendulum, neutral pendulum, is used for healing with colors or for checking vibrations of colors from object or individuals. But on the other hand, you can use it as regular pendulum if you wish. Don't forget though, that the pendulum which is not pointy, like for example Isis, will always radiate from whole surface. A pendulum which has a tip on the bottom, which will allow the energy to be focused and go straight like a beam of light directly to the point you want to send it to. Here we have like a shade of the lamp. We have a very wide field of energy going down because it will radiate the energy from this area going down, and also it radiates everything what you measure or use also in all directions around the ball. I hope this video helped you to understand a little bit problem about neutrality of neutral pendulum. Have a wonderful time, dowse well, have fun with dowsing, and we will meet each other next month. I still wait for your questions and problems regarding dowsing, and also I would like you to join us and subscribe to our channel, visit us on our website and on our Facebook. Until next time, stay healthy and well.